What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I am back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece treasure cruise video. And today we just got announced that the brand new Fortnite dungeon following the Supersonic Duck Squadron is none other than Crocodile. Life on the inside, the former warlord of the sea, hasn't lost his edge. So this is the Impel down version of Crocodile, the former warlord of the sea. Now this is actually an amazing Fortnite isle. There are amazing units inside and also amazing skill books to pick up. So without further ado, guys, we're going to get straight into the video. Just remember, guys, if you guys do go on to enjoy today's video, make sure to smack the like button down below. But without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So as we like to do, guys, let's go ahead and have a look at the unit that you'll be trying to get in this new Fortnite dungeon, being the strongest prisoner, Sir Crocodile. Now, he is a 4-star unit. There is also a 3-star unit that will drop prior to getting the 4-star unit. Then you evolve it at level 50 to this awesome Crocodile, who is a quick striker type unit, not like the previous Crocodile that we have, who is an intelligent unit. Now we have a quick Crocodile. Now, at level 1, he has a little over 1100 health, he has 500 attack, and 100 recovery, and then at level 99 he has a little over 2000 health, which is actually pretty crazy for a Fortnite dungeon, and an attack value of 1150 and recovery of 188. So definitely the health and attack are actually pretty decent for a Fortnite for a 4-star unit, and his recovery is on the lower side. I mean, you know, about 200 is still pretty decent. Now his captain effect will reduce damage received by 10% and boost the attack of strikers by 2 times. Now that's not really the best sort of captain effect. However, his special is actually pretty decent, which poisons all enemies and gives strikers an attack boost by 1.5 times for a single turn. Now, that is actually pretty nice. It's actually a little bit less than Arug, who gives 1.75 times for a turn. But Arug's special will max out at 17 turns, where this Crocodile will max out at 14 turns. So it's definitely a unit that you want to pick up. Gives strikers a lot of power, and you know, just a nice other quick unit to have, because you know Global doesn't really have that many good quick units at the moment. Now let's go and talk about the hidden boss in this dungeon, who is none other than Daz Bones, Mr. 1. So in the secret stage, you will find the prisoner Daz Bones, Mr. 1, who is an int slasher. Now, the previous Daz Bones that we have is a strength slasher, so this one now, a little bit different, changing it up from that, being a 4-star version int slasher. Now, at level 1, he has 255 health, 156 attack, 242 recovery, and when you max him out at level 70, instead of 99, he only goes up to level 70. He does not drop a 3-star unit, he only comes as a 4-star version. He has 1700 health, a little over 1000 attack and 55 recovery. So as you can see, as you level him up, his recovery actually does decrease. Now his captain effect will just simply double the attack of slashers. So he's not a very good captain, but his special is actually amazing. So it reduces the damage received by 30% for 2 turns, which is great, and then boosts the attack of slashers by 1.25 for 2 turns. So, comparing to the previous Daz Bones, the previous Mr. 1 that we have, who is the strength version, he actually does the exact same thing. However, he only does it for a single turn, and I think he only reduces damage by 50% rather than 30%. But you know, this one is actually a little bit better because you get 2 turns of attack boost, 2 turns of damage less received. However, this Daz Bones has a cooldown that maxes out at 17, whereas the strength version maxes out at 12 turns. So it's similar to the Crocodile versus Arug. You know, which one do you want? Which one would you rather use? You know, one's more powerful, but one will be achieved much quicker. So now that we've looked over the brand new units in this Fortnite dungeon, let's go ahead and break down the dungeon itself. So the condition for this dungeon is the fact that shooters, fighters, and slashers all are at a weakened state, meaning that the only units that do not have any debuff are the striker units, and we'll go more in depth in team analysis and team building at the end of this video. But when you reach stage 3 here, you'll come across a mini-boss, Sir Crocodile, who has around about 330,000 health. Now, he will preemptively poison you for 99 turns, and this poison will do around about 480 damage each turn, and he additionally will give himself a debuff protector and a shield for 4 turns. Now, this Crocodile right here isn't very difficult to beat. He's just sort of a miniature boss. You can get a really nice skill book from him if you do drop a skill book. You cannot actually drop this Crocodile though. You can only drop the one at the very end, similar to all of the other Fortnite stages. So the secret stage for this Fortnite dungeon is Mr. Daz Bones, Mr. 1. Now, his attack power is at 2020 with an attack interval of 1, meaning he'll attack every single turn. Now, upon reaching him, you'll see all these pirates here. I'm pretty sure they all die, or they all have very, very low health, as you can see in the picture here. However, he will actually give himself a buff in attack for the first 3 turns, making his attack power 2,224. And as I said here, it is a very, very simple stage. You really shouldn't be taking too much damage. He doesn't have a whole bunch of health. And obviously with all of the other hidden bosses, once you see Daz Bones and you beat him, you will automatically get the drop of Daz Bones in this dungeon, which is very, very nice because he is a really, really nice unit. So now let's move on to the final boss of this dungeon, Sir Crocodile. So once you reach stage 7, you will come across the boss being Sir Crocodile with a health of 820,000 and attack power of 4,796 with an interval of 2. Now he will preemptively give himself a debuff protector and a shield for 19 turns, which is pretty annoying, meaning you can't bring a unit like Golden Pound Usopp specifically just to delay Crocodile, meaning like for 19 turns you won't be able to hit him with anything. He has shield, he's got the debuff protector, which is pretty annoying. So yeah, basically any turn delay is useless in this dungeon and definitely not worth bringing. Now after the 3rd turn, if you are still fighting against him, he will change your orbs randomly to either strength or quick. And then after the 6th turn, if you're still fighting him, he'll double his attack and he will attack every single turn from there onwards, making his attack power 9,592. So he does have a lot of health. 820,000 is actually a lot of health. However, there are specific teams that can get around this and burst him down very, very quickly. So now let's move on to the specific skill books that you can find in this awesome Fortnite dungeon. So these are definitely the best 4 skill books that you'll be able to find in this Fortnite dungeon, being first one, Captain Kidd, where he changes his own slot to strength and deals 7 times his attack in strength damage. Absolutely phenomenal special, absolutely amazing. The next one is Mr. 1 Human Sword. Now this isn't the one that you find inside the dungeon, this is actually the previous Mr. 1 that we did find in Alubana. Now he will reduce damage taken by half and boost slasher attack by 1.25 for a turn. Very, very nice. And then we have Blamenko as well, which is a very, very nice strength orb manipulator that changes dex and quick to both strength orbs, which is absolutely crazy. Like, one of the best orb manipulators that strength units actually have. And then we have Miss Doublefinger Human Spike. Now this is an absolutely amazing special to get maxed as well. Like, all of these are very, very essential to get maxed out. They are amazing units with amazing specials. Now she will boost dex characters attack by 1.5 times for a single turn. Gives you a lot of burst damage when you have a nice dex team with a lot of powerful units inside it. So now that we've looked through the actual dungeon itself and the books that you'll be able to find, let's go ahead and now break down some teams and different teams that you will be able to use to defeat Crocodile in his Fortnite dungeon. So the first team I'm going to recommend here is the Kidd Striker team. Now Kidd is an amazing striker captain, giving you 2.5 times attack to all of your striker characters, which is, it's basically amazing. It's basically like a striker version of Mihawk Captain, which is really, really nice. Partner that up with another Kidd and you got 6.25 times attack to all of your strikers, and then you could add the Merry Ship on top of that, which adds another 1.5 times as well. Now the units that we have here are Smoker, which is just a great unit for just blocking damage, and also just the fact that he's a really, really strong dex striker type unit. Now Basil Hawkins is a very, very important one here. I was contemplating putting Arug in this team, just because his special gives you a lot of burst damage. However, I then realized that Hawkins is actually a little bit better, because what he does, he reduces the defense of your opponent by a certain degree, which is really, really nice. And I think it does a percentage, like 10% of their health as well. So Hawkins is actually amazing in this dungeon, because as we know, Crocodile does put up a shield for 19 turns when you reach him in the final dungeon. So he is really, really good in this dungeon. And then we have Paulie, and we also have Kaku's. Now, this is just great to get some extra burst damage. You got Kaku to give us the orb effectiveness multiplicator, and then we also have Paulie, who will lock all of our orbs. So if we get really, really nice orbs, we can lock them for a turn, and then we can go ahead and use Kaku to give us some very, very nice burst damage. Now, the next team that I have for you guys here is the exact same team as the Kid Striker team. However, the captains are swapped around a little bit using Arug instead. Now, if you don't know what Arug does, he doubles the attack of strikers and also gives them a 1.5 times boost to HP. Now, you can utilize a double Arug team basically because you will be taking poison damage throughout the dungeon. So if you have a little bit more health, you can withstand a couple more hits from the poison, which might make it a little bit easier for taking down Crocodile. Or you can mix and match this team where you could have an Arug captain and a Kid captain, or you could have double Arug or double Kid. Either or would work just as fine. They're pretty much the exact same team. They have the same principles. It's just the fact that when you have a double Kid team, you can go ahead and use both their specials, get red orbs, and you can have other orbs on your team, and then you can lock them with Paulie. So as you can see, there's actually a lot of power that can be put through with the Kid Striker team. However, with the Arug team, you can do the same thing with Arug special, just giving you a striker times boost to your whole team, which is actually not even a bad way to go with this team. You can give yourself a boost to your strikers, and then you can lock and then do orb manipulation, which was sort of the same thing that I said with the first team, how I was thinking about putting a Arug in, but then I decided that Hawkins was kind of a bit better. But then when you use the Arug team, you can use the best of both worlds, having Arug and Hawkins on the same team. So basically, you can use any of these teams, they would work just as fine as each other. Now, the last team that I have for you guys today is a free-to-play striker team where it utilizes Paulie as your captain, who will basically just double the attack of strikers, and then you've got a friend Kid captain who will give them a 2.5 times attack to strikers. Now, what this team is basically used for is you do have the silver striker and the silver fighter. Now, what those two guys do is they will change both strength and your quick orbs to dex. Now, you want to utilize that when Crocodile will do his effect, where he will give you either strength or quick orbs randomly. Now you can utilize both of their specials, giving your team a full team of dex orbs. You can then go ahead and use Miss Doublefinger to give your team a 1.5 times boost attack to all of your dex units for one turn, and then you can lock your orbs with Paulie. So you can see that there is actually a lot of utility with this team. It's just the fact that it is a little bit weaker than the previous teams, and it's basically just for your free-to-play units and your free-to-play players who need a team to take down Crocodile, because as you can see, the units that I've shown here, you've got Arug, Kid, Hawkins. These are not units that are not really accessible to free-to-play units, free-to-play players all the time. So I decided to whip up this team here, where you should be able to go ahead and defeat Crocodile pretty easily, considering that Khalifa is out right now on Global. So you can go ahead and pick up Paulie, which is pretty nice. You can go ahead and pick up his Doublefinger from Alubana, and then you can pick up the other units along the way as well. So these are all the teams that I would recommend to you guys to beat Crocodile's Fortnite dungeon, coming out on the 22nd of December, and it's going to be an absolutely amazing Fortnite dungeon. So that is going to wrap up yet another how to beat video. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and if you guys did, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, then make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.